a quick Google search showed me, not surprisingly, that many of the major environmental groups adamantly deny any association with Putin, and I suspect that there's really elegant ways to launder that money and make sure that there are no ties to it. But even if it's not true, I was thinking about this really important idea in public choice theory about regulatory policy, as Bruce Yandell came up with this idea of bootleggers and Baptists.
Mm-hmm.
And in every meaningful way, the and I'll explain the story in case nobody's heard it before. The bootleggers profit with a higher regulation, like prohibition of sales of alcohol on Sunday, full-on prohibition. The bootleggers are going to make extraordinary profits in an illegal market, and the Baptists think they're getting what they want because they don't want people to drink.
Right.
And this logic absolutely applies to environmentalists. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say you're not taking money from Putin, but you sure as hell are giving him what he wants when you destroy all of these alternative sources to energy.
Yeah, and I think what's most baffling about it is to what extent all of this was done in the name of the environment, right? Because you can argue, okay, we need to shut down our domestic fossil fuel production because it's causing climate change, and if you then rely on Putin, like that's bad, and obviously not even solving the problem. But to say that we're trying to tackle climate change or reduce pollution, and then to shut down the very sources of energy that are pollution free and that are allowing you to actually reduce your emissions as a country, is just completely contrary to any logic. And to bring it back to the American situation, what's really interesting to your point about the bootleggers and the Baptists is actually fossil fuel companies, and there's records that show this, have been the ones that funded groups like the Sierra Club and Natural Resources Defense Council over decades. And so going back to the first Earth Day, when this whole kind of modern environmental movement got started, and at the same time that nuclear energy was developing and they'd built all these plants and the future was atomic and people were excited about that, the reason why that was halted was because those groups with fossil fuel funded money, primarily gas and oil, they were going to regulators to try and make it as difficult as possible to build a nuclear plant. They were trying to shut down projects all across the country, and they've been successful. Just a few years ago in New York State, Indian Point nuclear plant, which provided, I believe it was about a quarter of the city's energy, was shut down basically for environmental reasons or fake environmental reasons, and emissions in the state shot up like 30 to 40% instantaneously. And so it's just a really odd set of bedfellows that you would have fossil fuel companies paying environmental groups to shut down clean energy.